Hi everyone, Chester here with a quick update on the weather as we head into Monday, Tuesday, August 10th and 11th. And I want to start the clock here Sunday night. This is just before 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have an evolving situation where we're going to have multiple rounds of thunderstorms move across the Midwest. Now, the radar as of 10 Central, 11 Eastern Time, showing some thunderstorms over Ohio, a few over northern Illinois, west of Chicago, and a couple areas of scattered showers and storms over by Nebraska and towards Missouri, the northwest corner of Missouri. The Storm Prediction Center has outlook multiple areas for severe weather in the coming days through Monday and Tuesday. So we're starting with the radar, but next I'm going to show you what the forecast looks like for this region, why there will be multiple rounds of thunderstorms, and why widespread wind damage could be possible with one or two of these bowing segments or larger complexes of thunderstorms. So let's take a look at the forecast model data. This is one of the high-resolution models that comes from the National Weather Service, the RRFS. And we'll kind of reset the clock here, and I'm going to go back to late on Sunday night. So this is 11 o'clock Central Time, DC time, East Coast time. This is midnight Sunday night into Monday morning. And you can see multiple rounds of thunderstorm moving across this region in that same area that the Storm Prediction Center has put that level 2 risk there across Illinois into the Midwest, other parts of the Midwest, I should say, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Now, it does look like the storms sort of run out of energy when they get to the DMV, but certainly have to keep an eye on this developing situation. You want to check in with local media if you're watching from the DC area. Meanwhile, St. Louis, you're right at the edge of the severe weather threat for Monday, but notice how this model goes all the way into Tuesday, and it does bring another complex of thunderstorms from the Midwest towards Chicago. Maybe it could extend as far south as St. Louis. It's going to be something that needs to be kept an eye on, but the storm complex does make it all the way towards the DMV by late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, so those areas could be in line for potential severe weather. Now, this is a model forecast, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. It is possible that the model is completely off, but the idea is that this entire area is going to be active with severe weather, and let me show you why on this next panel. All right, essentially, this is the overall synoptic pattern, the large-scale pattern across the United States. We have a ridge of high pressure located down here across the southwestern United States into the Great Plains, and then a trough or low pressure centered over Hudson Bay, Quebec, western parts of Ontario. And we've got a belt of winds that have developed out ahead or in between these systems right here, and they're just ripping across the Midwest. So what's happening is we're getting these thunderstorm complexes to develop here along what is essentially a jet stream, and then it's pulling down energy from these very vigorous winds, getting the squeeze between low and high pressure. And when you get high and low pressure, they're close to each other, you get strong wind differences, you can get a strong forcing or strong wind forcing. So essentially, it's storms are getting funneled through this area at high speed, and that's what's giving these thunderstorms their shear and energy that is necessary to produce potential severe weather. So damaging winds will be the biggest threat with these thunderstorms. This is the model forecast 10 p.m. Central Time, Monday night, 11 Eastern Time. You can see there's some wind barbs here showing about 50 knots, so that's over 100 kilometers per hour, or about 100 kilometers per hour in the halfway up in the atmosphere at 500 millibars. And we continue to see these various complexes of thunderstorms through Tuesday night here. You can still see that wind belt continues. The low is barely moved off to the east a little bit, and the ridge is still centered here over the southwestern United States. Into Wednesday, similar story. So it's likely that this entire area will continue to see more severe weather. The trough is more centered out here in this region here, so the main energy will still be located in this region where the winds are strongest, but the trough is now becoming what we call negatively tilted and starting to pull away. So essentially some weather changes on the way. There's also another system developing out of the west that kind of kick the system out of here and sort of break this pattern that it's stuck in this blocking pattern in a sense. So that ridge will kind of break down eventually. Trough there in Canada moves away, and we'll see this belt of winds sort of weaken, and we'll see the severe threat pass. But Monday, Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, severe weather possible across the Midwest to the East Coast. So check in with local media for the latest, and I'll be back here to update as necessary. Stay safe and have a good one.